It all comes to an end today. In the regular season finale of the UMass Boston men's ice hockey campaign, the Beacons get set to take on the number one ranked team in the ECAC East, the Norwich University Cadets. Good afternoon and happy Valentine's Day to all. Along with Matt Meisenbacher, I am John Skudras. Two of the best in the ECAC East get set to do battle for the final time this season. Both of these stellar clubs will see their seasons continue into the playoffs. However, as we've seen many times before, momentum and confidence are huge factors during the conference tournament. A victory today for either club would go a long way towards keeping the momentum that they've built over the last couple of weeks. For the Beacons, a 6-5 overtime victory last night over St. Michael's College propelled them to their 6th consecutive win. Mike Miller's goal, 3:42 into the extra session, gave the Beacons their 20th win on the season. They'll hope for continued success this afternoon against the number one ranked team in the conference. Norwich, meanwhile, has been a wrecking ball all year long. At 17-0 in conference play, no ECAC East foe has stood a chance against the Cadets, who have marched their way through conference play in 2014-15. That bodes well for them in the ECAC East tournament, but the Beacons have one last chance for romance today and an opportunity to snap a 7-game winning streak while also handing Norwich their first conference loss of the season. And Matt Meisenbacher, we turn to you. It's Valentine's Day, but there's no love lost between these two clubs. Obviously, number 1 and 2 in the conference. What type of momentum can the Beacons hope to get from a victory this afternoon?
I think both teams are looking for a statement win here to end this regular season and start their playoff push. And obviously, anytime we're going against Norwich, I know the guys are always geared up in the locker room. And Norwich, as the same for them. I mean, they're 17-0. They're looking for a perfect conference record. And you know, it's the top team in the country. Definitely both teams ready to go today. Absolutely,
and it's not only a big game because of what's happening on the ice, but also off the ice. It is senior day, and for a crop of very successful and storied seniors, it's going to be an emotional final game here. Of course, still the postseason to come. But somebody who's experienced senior day on the ice and off it, talk a little bit about what's going through their heads today.
Yeah, it's an emotional day, and you know, a lot of guys, you know, everyone in the locker room wants to do it for those guys, and there's always a little bit of extra energy in the locker room coming onto the ice, and you know, especially for guys like John Houston, a guy who's been here 4 years and been in the lineup for 4 years, and then obviously, you know, with Mike Kuhn, who was a senior last year, ended up coming back for a 5th year, and then you know the transfers with Milam, you know, Cornell and Bucco. It's kind of an odd senior class, but all guys who contribute on and off the ice.
Absolutely. One player who's not a senior that Peter Belisle is going to count on today is number 30, Billy Faust. What a season it's been for Billy, and as a former collegiate goaltender, you know just how difficult it is as the season goes on. He's played 14 games so far this season, so not an over-grueling amount of games, but he's facing off against the best team in the conference, one of the best teams in the country. What do you expect out of Billy today?
Yeah, Billy's been great. I mean, he hasn't lost yet this season. I mean, the worst blemish he has is a tie, and you know, I remember back last year when Billy transferred here, you know, he came in and Coach Belisle threw him, you know, trial by fire. His first game was against Norwich, and he ended up doing really well. I think we won that hockey game. And, you know, from there, Billy and Andrews have done a really good job backstopping this defense. And today, you know, as we saw yesterday, Billy's been on top of his game. He's seen the puck real well. And he's a competitor. You know, he's going to bring his A game, no doubt about it.
Absolutely. It's an interesting story today. Two goaltenders, neither have lost. Ty Reichenbach for the Norwich Cadets, 11-0-1. Billy Faust for the Beacons, 11-0-1. So we'll see which side the pendulum swings after 60 minutes of hockey here on Valentine's Day in Boston, Massachusetts. As we continue along here on the pregame show on the Beacons Broadcasting Network, let's take a look at the team stats for the 2014-15 campaign, and you look on the year. Both of these teams obviously in the standings right next to each other, but you also see it statistically.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one discrepancy you see there is goals against per game, and that stat would have been lower, especially on the UMass side. They've had a few games here that have gone, you saw it last night with the 6-5 overtime win, shootout style, and that contributes to that goals per game, but also that goals against per game, and that's the discrepancy. But you know what you're going to get against Norwich. It's not going to be a shootout. You might only get a few goals. You're going to have to stick tight defensively, and they're a team that knows how to win, so it's really a good test for the Beacons at the end of the regular season here.
Absolutely. Norwich was trailing 1-0 halfway through the game last night before coming back and scoring 6 unanswered to win. Let's take a look at the individual leaders for these teams, as they certainly have a crop of very, very successful goal scorers for the Beacons. One of the men you just mentioned, Stephen Bucco, a senior who was a transfer and he has been really a godsend for Peter Belisle since he's come over.
Yeah, Buko's been great. I mean, obviously everyone knows the story. UMass Lowell comes over here and really has fit well in terms of the program, and that's a credit to the coaching staff, being able to find guys that are not only talented but fit well with the chemistry in the locker room, on the ice, and obviously have a good head on their shoulders. Buko's come in. I mean, the points speak for themselves. I mean, 41 points in 25 games after today. That's just an astounding feat, and a kid who's super talented, along with a great supporting cast.
Absolutely, and for Norwich, the native of Quebec, William Pelletier, leads the team not only in goals, assists, and points, but he has been an absolute terror on their fourth line, a good two-way player, a sophomore out of Quebec. And for Norwich, they may not have the prolific scorer that Stephen Buko is, but they have incredible depth, as do the Beacons. Both of these teams over 10 players with double-digit points this season. So do you think that means we're going to see a lot of goals today, or will those great netminders cause a cessation of that?
Honestly, I think it's easy to say you see a shootout, but I would like to see two goaltenders go at it. You see the numbers there, Faust with a 1.95 and Reichenbach with a 9.39, almost a 9.4. I think you're going to see two goaltenders on top of their game, and who have obviously been weathered through the season. Really, there's really no rust at this point. Everyone knows what you're going to get from these two guys. I'd expect to see a good goaltending duel today, maybe a 3-2 game, 2-1, low scoring, something like that.
Well, we hope for a great one, as always, here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Let's take a look at the all-time series matchup between these two prolific clubs as the UMass Boston Beacons trail Norwich precipitously, 37-8. They've only won 8 of their 45 matchups. Let's hope for 9 this afternoon, but the Beacons have the momentum at home here at Clark Athletic Center Ice Arena. They've won 2 out of the last 3, including last year, January 10th, a 4-2 victory, and of course earlier on this year, on January 9th, a 6-3 loss at Norwich contributed to one of the most difficult defeats for the Beacons this season when Anthony Flaherty had 2 goals for the Cadets when the Beacons fell behind 4-0 after 2 periods. So we'll hope that maybe the Beacons learned a little bit from that matchup, Matt Meisenbacher.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's always tough playing up in Norwich, and it's a different story when they come down here. We've had a little bit more success, the Beacons have, of playing them at our home building. I've been a part of 2 wins here at our own building. Been fortunate enough for that. But, a team, there's really not a lot that needs to be said. They're number 1 in the country. You know what you're going to get. Super talented. They have a good game plan. But it's our building, and it's our barn.
Absolutely, and one of those wins that you were a part of was last year, as I mentioned, a 4-2 victory over the Cadets just over 1 year ago. Let's take a look at the highlights of that right here on the pregame show on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Welcome back into the broadcast booth along with my partner in crime, Matt Meisenbacher. I am John Scooters, getting you set for the season finale here from Clark Athletic Center Ice Arena. The UMass Boston Beacons, number 2 in the ECAC East, taking on the number 1 team in the ECAC East. The Norwich University Cadets 17-0 in the conference coming in. Beacons will look to hand them their first loss, and a big reason why will be our players to watch today. And ceremoniously so, it is the senior class of 2015. And as you take a look at their achievements, 2 Codfish Bowl titles, came close to winning another this year, 1 win shy of the class of 1984, which won 70 games. They can get that done, tie them up today. 69, 25, and 10, a winning percentage over 70 for these 5 young men. Matt, talk a little bit about these guys and what they mean to Peter Bilal's club.
Yeah, I mentioned it last night on the broadcast when me and John came in 4 years ago, and it was really a 500 program, and in terms of talent on paper, it was a lot less than it is now. We had to work for every single win, and that's not to say anything's changed, but at this point, you see, you go down the roster, a ton of D1 transfers, a ton of guys who were getting D1 looks who have come here now, and it's really become a powerhouse of a program. I mean, the proof, look at this class. I mean, a chance to get 70 wins, which is incredible, and a 71% win percentage. I mean, the program, not only the players, but the coaching staff as well. It's really, the program's turned around, and it's a powerhouse in a really tough conference.
Absolutely, and the success that Coach Bilal has done recruiting lends itself to suggest that there'll be much greater days to come for this program, not only with these seniors leaving, which obviously is a tough deal to handle. Mike Kuhn, Dan Cornell, the rest have done such a great job, but still some great players coming back. Peter McIntyre, one of them, who will be a member of that senior class next year, and of course, who passed the century mark just recently, 101 points through just 3 years. Great things to come for UMass Boston. As we continue along here on the pregame show, an opportunity now to take a look at last night's game, a 6-5 overtime win over St. Michael's College that saw the Beacons win this one in the extra session.
Shadow and the smoke in your eyes. I am the ghost that hides in the night.
Welcome back into the broadcast booth along with Matt Meisenbacher. I'm John Skudras here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. You see Mike Kuhn being introduced to the crowd, one of the 5 seniors who will be riding into the sunset, finishing their prolific careers here on Beaconville this afternoon. Mike, of course, a captain, somebody who has been really perseverant all 4 years here. He started out as more of a grinder type player, somebody you can rely on the penalty kill, and here in his senior campaign he has developed into one of the most consistent two-way players on Peter Belisle's club.
Well, and again, the injuries, I mean, the kid is always, sometimes. I mean, it's amazing he's able to get on the ice Friday and Saturday nights. He takes a lot of damage the way he plays, and like you mentioned, I mean, he came in here as a fourth-line guy, and you see him now on the first line. Just a tremendous story, Mike Hume.
We miss Dan Cornell. We will obviously be talking a lot about Dan during the game, one of the best defenders in program history. Right now, one of the great transfers under Peter Belisle's tutelage, Nathan Milam, is introduced. He spent his first 2 seasons at D1 Ferris State. After not seeing the playing time he would have liked there, he came here, and he's certainly gotten the playing time and helped lead the Beacons to heights they have not yet seen. Nathan Milam, a very good scorer. Yeah,
and very, very dedicated to his craft. I mean, on and off the ice, he works very hard in the weight room. He's maybe sessions in the off season, and a quiet guy. He keeps to himself and kind of leads by example, but talented nonetheless.
Absolutely. As they introduce John Houston, a player who might, like Mike Kuhn, has dealt with a number of injuries, cut his senior year short. Why the Beacons have gone on a tear, having won 6 consecutive games.
John's the type of guy, and I know him well. I came in, he's in my class. I came in with him. He comes in, he's in the lineup every single night. He does his job. He knows exactly what he needs to do to be successful on the ice, and he's not a guy that strays from it. He's a defensive defenseman. He's actually found a little bit of an offensive element to his game today, but just a guy who does what he's supposed to do night in and night out.
Absolutely. He's a history and communications major, so let's hope that he can help the Beacons make some history tonight by halting a 7-game winning streak for the visiting Norwich Cadets. Last but certainly not least, the team's leading goal scorer and point producer, Stephen Bucco, a transfer from Quinnipiac. He has been, from UMass Lowell, I correct myself. He has been an absolute terror on the ice since he came over. And Stephen Bucco, as he's joined by his family, I think he's found a home here in UMass Boston.
Yeah, I still remember when he first transferred in here after the Christmas break. He came down, we were doing a drill, I was in net, and I saw him coming down the wing, and I thought to myself, all right, let's see what this guy's got here. And he just let a quick little wrister go right above my glove, and I thought, okay, that's a D1 shot, I guess, huh?
Absolutely. A criminal justice major from North Providence, Rhode Island. He hopes to rob the Norwich Cadets of an opportunity for an undefeated conference campaign. So those are your seniors, the 5 very talented young men who will be riding off into the sunset following this 2015 campaign. We wish them the best of luck in their future endeavors, and of course over the next 60 minutes when they will attempt to overcome what has been a very, very terrifying attack from Norwich University. Before we get this game underway, let's kick it to a commercial break. When we come back, we will have the opening face-off and all the action. The UMass Boston Beacons, number 2 in the conference, against the number 1 team in the ECAC East, the Norwich University Cadets. Welcome back. Before we get this game underway, let's take a look at the starters for these 2 contending clubs here on the final game of the 2014-15 campaign. For the Norwich Cadets, it's going to be a very, very tough day for the UMass Boston Beacons netminder Billy Faust as he has to face off against this crop of forwards. The freshman Justin Charbonneau as well as Mitch Byrne will be joined on that line by Gerald McElney. And the blue liners to begin this game, Bryce Courier and Alex Theda. And between the pipes, 11-0-1 sophomore Ty Reichenbach. Let's kick it over to the players who will be starting for UMass Boston as they introduce themselves here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Mike Kuhn, senior forward, Holbrook, Massachusetts. Stephen Bucco, senior forward from North Providence, Rhode Island.
Nathan Milam, senior forward from Westland, Michigan.
I am Dan Cornell. I'm a senior defenseman from Abington, Mass.
Hi, I'm John Houston, a senior defenseman from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Billy Faust, junior goaltender from Alta Loma, California.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships.
First goal, both teams are kind of looking for one of those rebound, dirty, greasy goals in front. We've seen a lot of shots so far.
Certainly have, as the faceoff is won by the Cadets, dumped backhanded by Lawler behind the net. Beacons fighting for possession. Bishop's able to clear. It's a race for the puck as that was Albie Daly unable to get there as it's turned over instead, however, by the Cadets in the attacking zone. Opportunity for UMass Boston's Mike Miller, who scored the game winner in overtime yesterday, but Tyler Bishop is forced to dump this one in before taking a check from Paul Russell. McStravick with control, backhanded feed intended for Miller's off the mark. Daly, McStravick, and Miller is the fourth line, the yellow line, if you will, for the UMass Boston Beacons, as this one's centered out in front. Good defensive play by Bishop to deflect it away from the stick of Russell. Centered in front as Lawler's shot came wide as the Beacons get control, as a good play by McStravick just to get it out of their own zone, but instead here come the Cadets again. Niezgoda drops it back, and a big blast from Rowland is gobbled up by Faust.
And I mentioned it last night, Faust is definitely in the zone. He's been tracking pucks real well, and you see there with that slap shot from the blue line, there were two bodies. He wasn't necessarily being screened, but it's still, you can lose the puck for a split second. As a goaltender, that's never a good thing, and a nice save there, right in the glove, holds on the rebound.
Peltier's shot from the slot is missed, and then he gets decked twice, two for the price of one. Once there by DeAugustine, and then again by McIntyre. Instead, here comes Niezgoda, center field in front, great save by Faust, not getting a lot on it there. On the shot was Salvucci, and it's a break for the UMass Boston Beacons as they avoid an early goal for the visitors.
Yeah, and Salvucci's going to the ref there saying, I got hooked. I didn't really see it. If it was there, it was momentary. He definitely didn't get everything he wanted on it, but nevertheless, a good save by Faust.
Beacons now in their own zone. Good face-off win by UMass Boston, as getting control for the moment was Cornell, as he finds help in the form of Milam, and then getting taken down knee to knee was number 14 Colin Larkin, the man who won the face-off. Refs letting them play. Centering opportunity, Salvucci looking for Niezgoda. He drops it back, and now moving forward with control is Rowland. He dumps this one in, goes for a line change. Behind the net, Faust got lost in no man's land. Backhanded feed, but no one was home as this one hit the back of the net. Beacons trying to get their act together. Maciag looking for help. He finds Kuhn. His cross-ice feeds deflected into their own defensive zone. But a smart play to clear, and a good play made there on the second effort by number 2 Bryce Courier, as it was almost a breakaway for Larkin.
And John, the Beacons are most successful when they move the puck north. When they try to go side to side too often, it creates a lot of turnovers. You saw there, the D were trying to go D to D too many times, created a turnover. Cornell realized that. He's able to go north, and almost an opportunity there for Finger, I think it was, or Larkin, who almost had a breakaway. But when the Beacons are most successful, they're moving the puck north.
It's never a good idea to go cross ice in your own defensive zone, especially when you're outnumbered. UMass Boston attempted it there, almost got burned, and then almost turned it around the other way. Regardless, UMass is in their own zone here. Cornell will defer to Maciag. Maciag goes D to D to Dan Cornell, one of the 5 seniors who will be graduating at the end of this school year, as it's dumped all the way down. No icing, as this one's waved off at the last moment. 11:55 to go. Cadets marching on. Charbonneau with control. The top line has it here. Centered in front for Mitch Byrne, and he couldn't get his backhand on it. Now here comes Bucco the other way. Steven out there along with the Beacons top line looking for assistance in the form of a senior. John Houston's blast. They score! On senior day, John Houston beats him 5-0, and it's 1-0 UMass Boston.
John, I got to be honest with you. That is the one guy I would not expect to score a goal today. And that's what happens on senior day, John, is you never know who's going to step up. John Houston, first the play starts with Bucco coming into the zone. One thing about Bucco, he's like a quarterback. He realizes he's a read option quarterback. Sees everything out there. He knows he's got Houston coming late in the play, sends him a nice saucer pass just over the blue line. And Houston just takes it right to the net and just unloads one past the goaltender for a 1-0 lead. How about John Houston, man? We just talked about defensive defenseman. The guy makes me eat my own words by scoring a goal.
Sometimes it's all about being in the right place at the right time. A great feed from Bucco to Houston. The Beacons looking for 2 for the price of 1 as an opportunity there from Finger is denied on an outstretched block on a good play made by Theta. Here come the visiting Cadets the other way. Opportunity to even this one up, but that blast was wide. For John Houston, just the 2nd goal of the season and 4th of his prolific career in 92 games as this centering feed is off the mark. DeAugustine looking for Sitterly, and now here comes Pelletier the other way. It's 3-on-2 for a moment. Now a quick deflection in front and a good right blocker save made there by Billy Faust on an opportunity by Pisgoda. Beacons in their own zone leading 1-0. 10:42 to go in the first period. It's the 2nd consecutive game that the visiting Cadets trail 1-0. After falling behind early, they came back to score 6 unanswered last night to get their 17th conference victory. As here comes Connor McStravick forward. He finds Mike Miller, who's out there with McStravick and Daly. He gets his pocket picked, unfortunately, as this one is intercepted and come to the near side and cleared for an opportunity for the Beacons to set back up for Daly.
And there you see Daly dumping the puck, and they're going to get it changed. The one thing I don't want the Beacons to do is get away from the game plan. It's what's working. A lot of times they get a little bit excited, and they start to try to get too creative, to create a little bit too many turnovers. Stick to the game plan here.
UMass Boston leads halfway through the first period. Behind the net is Houston, the goal scorer. He finds his partner in crime, Brett Mason. Brett looking for McIntyre, gets it there on the second chance effort. Kicked out of the zone and an opportunity streaking forward for Bucco, but he couldn't get control of the puck as this one's sent out of play for a face-off in the Beacons' attacking zone, or defensive zone, I should say.
And Bucco was looking skyward after that one. I think he knows if he would have just touched that even just a little bit, he was off to the races. I don't think anyone was going to catch him, and fortunately for Norwich, he wasn't able to. The goal you see there, they're calling it PMAC, but I think that's actually going to go to John Houston. I was talking to some people next to me, and they had the same thought, so that one might get changed.
We'll see what happens. Peter McIntyre certainly deserves it. He's a tremendous player, but for John Houston, that would be a heck of a goal, his 4th of his career if it does come to fruition. Regardless, Beacons lead 1-0. 9:27 to go. Bucco loses control near the red line, instead just defers and tries to set up and then goes on a line change as this one is pounded all the way around the boards and comes back from whence it came into the Cadets' own defensive zone.
Smart play by Bishop. He didn't touch, he just let it go. No, it doesn't hurt him.
We'll see if the Beacons can get anything out of this. Nathan Milam is out there, along with his line of Larkin and Kuhn. But instead it is the Cadets trying for a stretch pass. Great feed, great play by Cornell, but he's going to get called on it, as they're going to call interference on Dan Cornell, and the UMass Boston Beacons will be shorthanded to begin this game.
He might be unscathed. I think they're actually calling icing here. I think he's going to get away with that call. It definitely was interference. I think Norwich is letting the refs have it. I mean, there's no doubt that was an interference call. Beacons get away with one there.
Hey, we'll take it. I'll take it, even if it makes me sound foolish. The Beacons getting a break there. Instead, they'll get an offensive zone face-off, and off the blast from Maciag. A deflection in front by McStravick is off the mark. Good hit by Miller to set things up as this one's sent all the way back behind. And unfortunately, unable to get there was Daly, but keeping it in the zone is Miller. He scored the game winner yesterday, looking for more as he turns it over in the attacking zone. Good play by Salvucci on defense, and then knocking this one down and moving forward is Pelletier. Pelletier center in front, and an opportunity for the goal there by Niezgoda, but just off the end of his stick.
Yeah, Cornell's going to get called here for a rough, I think.
I think that might be a makeup call, as Dan Cornell was the guilty party moments ago, and might have been late, but they will eventually see Dan Cornell head to the sin bin, as he will head for 2 minutes, and UMass Boston will be shorthanded.
Yeah, they're going to call him for an elbow here. I think what happened was his timing was off just a half second, and when he came in, his hands were low, but by the time he made contact, his hands were up high around the chin area, which creates that elbowing call, and obviously a power play here for Norwich.
Charbonneau and McElney are centered by Byrne. It is that top line. McElney with control, dumps it back behind. McElney back towards the point. Opportunity to even this one up. Quick blast by McElney, and he went wide. It was deflected off the skate of the ref. That caused it to slow down, and an opportunity and successfully cleared by Sam Boyd. 1:38 to go on the 2-minute minor to Dan Cornell for elbowing. With 8 minutes to go in the first period of play, UMass leads 1-0. Charbonneau dumps it in. The blue liner there is Smith. He's joined out there on the blue line by Hale. Corey Hale and Cody Smith, and instead Hale lets it go. An opportunity for Larkin, one-on-one with the netminder. What a save with the right leg by Reichenbach.
Yeah, puck was rolling on. I think Larkin, he was trying to go around the goaltender. The puck was bouncing. He didn't really get what he wanted to do there, but a good save by Reichenbach to keep this a 1-0 game, not allow a shorthanded goal.
Sloppy play early on for the undefeated in-conference Norwich Cadets, as they might be in for some calisthenics after this one. Opportunity on the power play now for Norwich, but it's not cleared by Daly. In front, and a quick blast from the slot is knocked wide on a deflection by Peltier. So McStravick on the forecheck, trying to harass the defender, which is Alex Brantrop. Meanwhile, Niezgoda has a wide open man in the circle. That one's off the crossbar. A opportunity for the goal there, but that one off the crossbar from Peltier.
And Faust might have just gotten enough of that to get it off the crossbar and out. I think it went off his shoulder just a touch.
Rowland at the point, setting up the umbrella. Rowland defers to Peltier, weak pass, although Peltier loses it. And the Beacons see the Cadets shoot themselves in the foot again, but coming back after the Beacons went for a line change was Peltier. That one deflected high and wide. William with control. He'll look for some more assistance towards the far end boards. Doing it all himself here. McIntyre on defense. Dumps it back towards the D line at the point. Rowland, D to D for Brantrop. Looking for Peltier. Intercepted in front. Opportunity, centering pass. And Faust got a left leg on it. And then the net went off its moorings when John Houston leveled a Cadet into it.
Well, the penalty had ended and the power play was over for Norwich, so they were just trying to throw it towards the net, knowing that the man was coming back there, and they almost got a goal. Faust had to stretch completely and get over to that post in time, and I think it went off his stick and his pad, and then two players went into the net, which creates this in-zone face-off and gives the Beacons a chance to change.
For the Cadets, it'll be Trevor Stewart, Tyler Piacentini, and Nick Pichette. For UMass Boston, Lemire will take this face-off. He's still out there with Bucco and McIntyre as UMass Boston loses the faceoff. Pichette is able to dump it all the way in. Good aggressive defense against the end boards there by Mason. And he's able to get this one to his partner in crime, Houston, who got slashed but was able to clear. Tough short hop right out in front. They score! Bad break for UMass Boston. Tyler Piacentini's 8th of the season on a short hop of Billy Faust, and the rebound is put home. We're tied at 1.
Well, that's a play you can't really even draw up. I mean, you can in theory, but that's very tough to execute. And a credit to Norwich. You see the dump in. It was kind of an aerial floater. Faust had to come out and actually make a save on it. He drops down in the butterfly to risk it bouncing over, and through the rebound, a streaking Norwich player just comes in and buries it underneath the bar. Kind of a fluky play, but nevertheless, a 1-1 game here with 5:58 in the first period.
Good effort by Piacentini, who really came barreling in past the waiting defenders. Didn't care if Faust was able to cover that one up on the first effort. He was going to get a swat at the rebound, and he put it home for goal number 8 for the South Weymouth, Massachusetts native. Beacons lose the face-off, but it's dumped all the way in. Mike Masiak has it, deflected off a stick of a Cadet, but the Beacons have control. Milam with it. Has Larkin with them. Beacons are offsides as Larkin came up in front of Milam and get called on that one with 5:42 to go.
And if you're the Beacons, you got to stick here. It's obviously a lot of hockey left here. No need to panic. You know Norwich is most likely going to be able to score at least a few goals, so it's really, you knew this was coming. And like we said in the pregame, I mean, it's going to be a test. There's no way Norwich is going to roll over at all, especially only with a 1-0 lead. So let's see what the Beacons are made of here.
Cornell turns it over in the neutral zone, and then Lawler's able to skate it right past the Beacons' defense. Is now back behind the Beacons' net. Lawler with control, looking for assistance. He's out there with Flaherty and Russell. As with control, now back to the point for Hale. Hale D to D. Smith dumps it backhand back behind to the corner boards. Backhanded feed from Cornell for DeAugustine is siphoned towards Sitterly, who's unable to get it out. Smith keeps it in for Russell right out in front of the slot, and a good defensive play by Mike Maciag to block it down, and then DeAugustine's attempt to clear by way of Sitterly is successful. Kitt with control, dumps it back towards the blue line of the Cadets, but unable to swat it back deep is DeAugustine. He'll go for a line change as Hale has control. Hale tries to go cross ice for Byrne. It's deflected off of Byrne's stick back towards Bishop behind the net. He got hooked a little bit, centered out in front, opportunity. Good defensive play by Bishop to knock it wide.
Yeah, great play by Bishop.
Now here is an opportunity for UMass Boston's yellow line. McStravick couldn't stop that one with his skates as it comes all the way down for Brantrop behind the net. He backhands this one, and a good carom off the near side boards for McStravick by way of Bishop, but Connor unable to get any shot away as tumbling down is Daly, no call. Crowd didn't like it, but the referees have been silent for the most part today. Boyd trying to outrush his man to the corner. It's touched up, so no icing as Boyd holds his man there. And that one was Anthony Flaherty is now getting control. For the moment was Miller, turns it over to Pelletier. Bishop puts his body into that forward, and unfortunately for UMass Boston, the ice seems to be shifted a little bit since that goal. Back to the blue line, Brantrop shot just wide of the net. That one was tickling some twine if it got towards Faust's crease. Meanwhile, Pelletier has it towards the near side corner. He's been out there an awful lot here in the first period. Roland unable to settle that pass down, and it careens back towards the near side corner before McStravick can clear and perhaps do a little more. Nice left to right move. Connor McStravick shot and a great save with the glove, and then covered up with the breadbasket by Reichenbach.
Well, a perfect opportunity. Connor McStravick there creating something out of nothing. And I know I'm going to give a quick shout out. He asked me to say hi to his mom, who's an avid listener to me and you, John. But you see Connor McStravick, and this is why I love that yellow line. Connor's a notorious yellow line player. I mean, the kid, instead of just dumping it, he's at the end of his shift. Very easy to just dump that puck. He actually comes in, creates a little inside-outside move, gets a shot on goal and a scoring opportunity there. Good job by Connor.
Fantastic play by a player who has really put together a terrific career, a junior out of Philadelphia. Is Mama McStravick down there in Philly right now? I wonder if she is. Hello, Mama, you're in my hometown. As the Beacons see a whistle coming, the net is off its moorings, and we will have a face-off in the attacking zone. Mears' deflection is saved with the right leg. There's a chance for Mason. Rebound in front, and not able to get a shot away there was Matt Lemire. Beacons now putting something together here on this shift as Bucco, the team's leading scorer, defers to the point for Houston. He already has a point in this one on an assist, and the player who got the goal credited to him there was McIntyre, and now another whistle. And the net again off its moorings.
Yeah, that's a tough call there. It was just slightly off and kind of a must call for the referee, but unfortunate break for the Beacons. They had some good sustained pressure. They were generating some stuff offensively. Not quite sure how that net came off, but a tough break, and Larkin with a great opportunity needs to win this draw, and he does. Oh, it just bounced off. Never mind.
Ooh, and then Larkin shoving Russell to the ice, no call. As the Beacons continue their physical nature here in the second period as Kuhn crushes Roland into the boards. Here's Milam looking for more as the Beacons getting into the physical act. They'll try to get in to the goal-scoring act as this one centered in front is unsuccessful. Kuhn looking to finish his check there. Really no good effort to do so as Russell will fire this one into the breadbasket of Faust, and he'll defer now to Boyd as the Beacons set up with the visitors going on a line change, and then letting this one come all the way down was Kuhn, and it'll be icing on UMass Boston.
Well, we talked about it during the senior ceremony before today's game. That's the type of effort you get from Kuhn night in and night out. I mean, a guy that he's found his scoring touch here in his fifth year as a fifth-year senior, but he's always been a guy that is not afraid to throw his weight around by any means, and you saw that from a huge hit, and he's kind of teaching that to the youngster, the freshman Larkin, who's kind of shown similar tendencies.
Absolutely, as this one's set in front, bouncing puck, great wraparound opportunity, nets off its moorings, folks. They better whistle that one dead, and they will, as Faust knocked the net off its moorings, and now a little extracurricular activity going on, and who else be right in the middle of it than Mike Kuhn getting aggressive here in the second period of a 1-1 game.
No, absolutely. He's always going to be in the middle of that mix. That's kind of his game. As long as he treads that line lightly, he'll be fine. But a great save by Faust on the rebound and wraparound. It was kind of who can get to the spot quicker, and Faust was able to readjust and get his toe over and lock that post in to make that save. That's a huge stop to keep this a 1-1 hockey game with 7:20 left in the second period.
Absolutely. Billy Faust's lateral movement this season has really been something that's wowed not only his coaching staff, but broadcasters and fans alike. He has been fantastic. Face-off is won by the visitors. This one blocked down by Larkin in front from the slot. Big save with no chance of seeing that one. I don't believe for a second Billy Faust saw the shot. He made the save, and some extracurriculars after as Piacentini gets decked down in the crease. A substantial visiting crowd is not a fan of it, but they'll have to sit down and shush because the Beacons are tied right now with Norwich.
Yeah, the fans are going back and forth a little bit, but you see here Coach Blyle, he's going to change that lineup now and get that line off the ice, put his yellow line out there, and a great save you mentioned from Faust. Don't think he saw it. That's just where as a goaltender you just try to be as big as possible and hope it hits you.
Beacons win the face-off. Maciag looking for Cornell. It comes out into the neutral ice, and now aggressive play by Daly to get control from Theta. Daly out there with McStravick. Always aggressive is this yellow line. They play with such great energy, and it oftentimes turns into offensive opportunities, but instead, here come the visiting Cadets the other way. Charbonneau drops it for McElney. He gets by the defense not once but twice, but Maciag with a good second effort to get there and get it out of harm's way as it was 2-0 for the Cadets. Now here they come, the Beacons, as they dump this one in. That's Daly chasing after it, McStravick, along with Miller. Miller's the only one near this puck right now, and he would be hard-pressed to get it, and he does. 2-on-1, Miller's shot from the near side circle, gobbled up by the breadbasket of Ty Reichenbach.
Well, Reichenbach coming in, he's a massive goaltender. He's listed at 6'3" and 6'2", 129. Just a big goaltender, comes out, challenged the angle, and for Miller, with not a lot of time, he's got a player on his back, just didn't really have much time to do anything there in terms of dangling or going around him, so he just fires one and unfortunately hits him in the breadbasket.
Face-off one for McIntyre. He is the team's most prolific goal scorer, but this one blocked in front, and he shows he can level some lumber as well on Peltier. And then, of course, Mason gets his stick grabbed, and the fans here do not like it. Here's Lemire moving forward. Lemire will try to skate his way past Brandtrup and does. Unfortunately for the Beacons, some assistance, but Mason's the only one there to get the waiting puck. A bad angle shot is denied by Reichenbach. Mason all the way around, finds Lemire. Lemire feeds it to the point for Bucco. He waits and blasts just wide to the near side as he had an opening on the near side, short side shot.
He's calling for it again. They have totally disregarded Bucco. He's sitting right by himself in the slot. If he gets this puck, he's going to get a great opportunity here. You see 25 sitting right in the slot waiting for this thing.
He is the lone ranger there, but unfortunately it's taken by Niaz Goda and cleared to Pelletier. Here is Salvucci on the far side. Drop for Pelletier. Shot save made by Faust. Rebound in front, and Faust made the save with the left leg before it's gobbled up by Bucco. Bucco has McIntyre with him. Steven will just dump this one off the end boards. Peter is held, and a call will be coming up. Beacons will go to the power play for the first time this afternoon.
I don't know, John. I'm looking here.
They're going to call that on McIntyre?
It looks like that he's going to get called for a high stick here. I don't know. I saw. You know what? I got on the refs last night. You see. You know what? I don't know. There's nothing I have to say here. You see, Blyle. I got on these refs, the same group of refs last night for this type of call. I'll let the scene explain for itself. You know, I'm not one to harp on the refs, but I mean, in a 1-1 hockey game, it's been back and forth. To make that type of call and give Norwich their third power play today.
If you're going to call that, you have to call it on both. There have been ticky-tack calls called on UMass Boston and not on Norwich. Now, I'm not saying that the referees are biased, but they're doing great things for the blind these days and also getting jobs as referees in collegiate hockey, I guess, as well. UMass Boston will be shorthanded, really in miraculous fashion. It should have been a call on the visitors. It looked like Peter McIntyre had his stick held. I don't know how they can call high sticking on Peter McIntyre. Regardless, that's the call. He's in the sin bin for 2 minutes, and the Beacons will have to kill off their third consecutive power play of the game. Theta goes D to D, and an opportunity now for Courier. Courier D to D back for Theta as they set up the umbrella formation. Here is number 2 in Camo as they score. It is 2-1 as the shot got its way in from the stick of Brian Courier.
Unbelievable. John, this is where you have, refs getting involved in a hockey game. A great 1-1 game. We're going back and forth, and they just totally give an advantage to Norwich, and now a 2-1 hockey game. This is clearly refs getting involved in a hockey game, but a lot of time left. 5 minutes left here in the second period. Plenty of hockey, and you knew Norwich was going to be able to capitalize on one of these man advantages, so we'll see what the Beacons can do to answer here.
The large visiting contingent here is on their feet. The referees are on their feet as well as the visiting Norwich Cadets take a 2-1 lead. Cornell backhands it for Maciag. Mike Maciag with control. He'll try to center this one forward, and Larkin has control. Hooked, no call, as he goes into the attacking zone for Courier to get control. He's the man that just scored the goal to give the Cadets a 2-1 lead. Here's Stewart. Stewart to the near side for Piacentini. He is defended by Maciag, and a shot from a bad angle gobbled up by Faust.
Well, we talked about it in the pregame. I mean, it's definitely a good test for the Beacons, especially being down now 2-1. I mean, you get to kind of test and see what you're made of here. And the one thing you don't want to see is them starting to get frustrated and take even more penalties. Clearly the refs are going to call it if it's close. So the one thing the Beacons don't want to do is continue to tread that line and take even more penalties. It's still very much a hockey game here.
At the same time, you said it. The Beacons wanted to come in here and play with an edge to their game. They wanted that physical nature. They knew they had to have it. And when you're getting called on ticky-tack calls like that, and they have been 0 calls against the visiting team through 35 minutes of play, you have to wonder how you can really win. You're not only playing against an undefeated team in your conference, but you're also playing against some Zebras as well. Now Beacons in the attacking zone behind the net, unable to get a first chance opportunity, but that one off the point shot by Houston is denied by Reichenbach. Another chance for John is blocked down in front by Rowland, and then it'll be Miller trying to get control in front of the Toyota Expressway sign on the far end of the board. McStravick with control on the end boards, goes for Miller. Miller has it behind Reichenbach's net, and calling for it was Daly, but instead it's intercepted. 2-on-1 come the Cadets. Russell waiting, gets it, and unable to get any shot away, as this one was a bad feed there off the pass by Flaherty, as the Beacons see again 2-on-2 in the other way, but the Beacons able to get control. That was Miller knocking it down and preventing an offensive rush. 3.5 minutes to go. It's 2-1 Cadets as McElney is into the attacking zone. No offsides. Backhand feed in front. Knocked down there by Mason. And then it's going to have to be Finger who will get this one out himself. He comes all the way down. A shot attempt and then checked into the net with no call is number 27, Kit Sitterly.
Yeah, no call. You know, it's just Sitterly going back door. He gets shoved into the net. I guess that's a clean play, but a good job by Finger using a little bit of speed there. He used his body to his advantage. He does that constantly, but showed a little bit of a burst of speed coming down the wing, is able to get a shot on goal and almost generate a rebound opportunity for the Beacons. A nice little offensive burst there by Finger.
Certainly was, and that line will stay out here. It'll be Finger along with Sitterly, centered by Frankie DeAugustine, the defenders Boyd and Bishop. Face-off won by the Beacons. However, they at first effort are unable to get control. Now into the corner boards. Couple of Beacons fighting for possession. That's DeAugustine and Larkin, and it's Frankie who comes to the point for Bishop. Bishop's got a great shot, but a good block there by Charbonneau, number 19 for the Cadets. Beacons have control. It's Kit Sitterly out there with DeAugustine. That's who he finds. Back for Kit, who fires this one, and that one a knuckler that was deflected by Smith and gobbled up by Reichenbach for a face-off with 2:39 to go.
Yeah, good shift there by Sitterly, Finger, and DeAugustine, a line that was together previously a few years back, and Coach Bliles put them back together here to create a spark for all three of those players. They've done well so far yesterday and today, and now we'll see if the top line for the Beacons can follow up that good shift with Bucco, McIntyre, and Lemire out there.
They're cleaning up the crease around the net of Ty Reichenbach, as there have been a precipitous amount of times the net has gone off its moorings. I assume that's what they're trying to fix with 2:39 to go. Granted, they could just wait until the intermission, but right now they'll take their time to kill whatever momentum the Beacons just built from the last two possessions. Regardless, the Beacons trailing 2-1 now after the call that was just made in the power play goal by Bryce Courier, his first goal of the season nonetheless for the senior from Essex Junction, Vermont. And now they're going to keep, from the looks of it, that top line out there, McIntyre, Bucco, and Lemire. So far today, other than that blast from Bucco moments ago on the last offensive shift, we haven't really seen too much out of this line.
Yeah, and a good opportunity for them here.
Bucco wins the face-off. Maciag dumps it all the way back behind, but no one was home. Salvucci is the only one there. He tries to clear it, and he does. Niazgoda has a 2-on-2 the other way. Number 22 in camo is unable to curl and drag that one around. Pelletier then took the brunt of the punishment from the senior Dan Cornell, and now Bucco will look for help in the form of Matt Lemire. Lemire streaking to try to catch up to that leading pass. Unfortunately, Salvucci's the only one who will get possession before Bucco levels into Pelletier. And on the near side, it is Theta to get control into the attacking zone. Fisted away with the stick of Faust. Pelletier the only one there. Maciag gets control after Bucco leveled into number 20 in camo. And now here comes Maciag finding McIntyre, who deflects it towards the crease, where it's gobbled up and then eventually sent from whence it came by Reichenbach. Off of the back of the referee to the near side, but it helps out the visiting team as Pichette's able to dump this one in. Houston has control on the far side boards, jockeying for possession. Milam couldn't get there as this shot from the point is knocked down by Faust. 1.5 minutes to go in a second period that has seen the visiting cadets from Norwich University take a 2-1 lead. Mason tries to clear, cannot. Rantrup's shot towards the slot is knocked down, and now Bucco, who's been out there for over 1.5 minutes now, will dump it in, then go for a line change as Mike Kuhn will go chase after this one into the far side corner. Again, good poke check by the visitors as Kuhn can't get there. Milam out there along with Larkin and number 7 in white, Mike Kuhn. With 1 minute to go in the second, Kuhn intercepts it. Feed for Milam. Couldn't get anything on that one as he knocked it down. And another souvenir for a fan in the crowd. Unfortunately, it keeps going into the Norwich side of the crowd as they continue to walk away before throwing the puck back onto the ice, I should say. 50 seconds to go. Second period of play. 2-1 Norwich on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
And Blau's going to throw the yellow line out there. An in-zone faceoff. That puck was tossed out of play by a Norwich player, which means an in-zone faceoff and an opportunity for McStravick. If he can win this back, it's going to go to Bishop. Unfortunately, can't win the draw.
Certainly can't. Beacons lose the draw. They've been doing that all day long. They trailed 14-5 in the first period, and it hasn't gotten any better as McElney skates through the defense. Cornell levels into him in the corner boards. Daly doing his due diligence to get control and feed Cornell. Cornell will then find Mason, who can't get this one out of the zone. Excuse me, that's Sitterly, and now the Beacons move forward. And now McStravick looking for Miller. A centered feed for Miller is deflected out of play. Connor probably would have been better off just shooting that one, as laying down to block that one on a smart play was Brian Rowland.
Yeah, Rowland with a nice defensive play there. Took the pass away. I think McStravick was already committed to the pass at that point, and a good defensive play because that was definitely a small chance, a 2-on-1 there in the zone, and Reichenbach didn't even have to make a save on that one.
Lemire out there to take the face-off. He's out there with Bucco and McIntyre yet again. 18 seconds to go. Face-off won by the Cadets and cleared. And the Beacons will have to get some rocket in their skates here if they have any chance of getting an opportunity in the second. That likely won't happen as it's taken into the attacking zone. Kept in, shot blocked down in front by Mason, and Bishop will then clear it all the way down as time will expire on the first period, or rather the second period of play. So after a first period that saw the Beacons get an early lead 8 minutes in, it was a early goal in the second period now. That gives the visiting Cadets a 2-1 lead, and on a tough break when they got called for a ticky-tack call on Peter McIntyre, the Beacons fall behind after 2 periods of play. What have you seen so far, Matt Meisenbacher?
Yeah, regardless of the referees, I think that period would have gone to Norwich either way. They would spent the vast majority down in the offensive zone. Faust had to come up with a lot of good saves that period to keep this a 2-1 hockey game, and you know, we talked about being tested. I mean, this is exactly it. You got a 2-1 game at home against Norwich, number 1 team in the country. You know, you've been playing them tough all day. I think at this point, it's really just you got to find a way to come away with a W for the hockey game here, and they've done a good job so far. They've had some opportunities themselves. They didn't test Reichenbach that much that period, but he did have to come up with a few good saves. I think going into the third period, you know, obviously you're tired. You go into your 6th period of play in 2 days. You know, just rehydrate, and you see here Coach Blau is going to need an opportunity to talk to the refs. I think both coaches are a little bit questioning what's going on here in terms of the calls, but getting back to what I was saying, I think if you're a Beacon player, you're just kind of rehydrating. You've played well today. You're just going to try to look to carry that over into the third period.
Absolutely. The Beacons could use a power play or two. They haven't had one yet. Meanwhile, they've had 3 penalties, most of which were very close calls called against them. Well, the Beacons trail 2-1 after 2 periods of play. One last chance for romance in 20 minutes. But first, let's take a look behind the Beacon. An opportunity to take a look inside a women's basketball game day right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Behind the Beacon. I'm your host, Haley Dutton. Amidst the nearly 6 feet of snow on the ground and the frequent school cancellations, the UMass Boston women's basketball team and the rest of UMass Boston Athletics is focusing on the task at hand. With less than a month until the Little East Conference Tournament, we followed the women's basketball team through their game day against Suffolk University to give you a better look at what goes into a game day.
All right, 14 and 21 are sisters. They're very, very similar players. They're long, athletic guards. Okay, 21, they should have a little bit of everything. They play hard on both ends. All right, our keys: limit their transition. Make this a half-court game with our offense execution and taking care of the ball. All right, make them defend us. I already said this, and then attack mentality. All right, we haven't been together in 2 days. You haven't played ball in 2 days. You guys should have some energy. Go at them from the start. Dictate what we do. Don't let them dictate what we do. Let's go. Come on, go get a win. Play hard. 1, 2, 3. Play hard. Always high on motion, right? Lots of communication offensively, defensively, okay? Number 3, she likes to pop behind the ball. Lead with the you got to stay with her until we can pass her off. Alright? Keep leaving the number 1 shot. Go! 4, 1, 2, 3, start! Yes, we have to come out in the first 5 to 8 minutes and put them away early. All right? Anything else? Here we go. Let's go, White.
Theo, finish this. Let's go, White.
Finish it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Finish it! Let's go. Hold on. As the inbounder, behind you, all right? Just retreat dribble. You did a great job of it. You picked up your dribble, you retreat dribbled one, picked it up, split the double team, great flash to the middle. Okay, and that's what we need you to do as the inbounder. What's up?
Like they're anticipating that, so the other guards when they come to the ball.
Whoever is the opposite, yes, has to come and flash hard to the ball. You're going to screen for Jamie, and then you turn right around and set one for Marina. We're looking for that if we got that deep. All right? Guys, as soon as you screen, you're stepping right here to the ball. Okay? We good?
Final score, please. UMass Boston 63, Suffolk University 44. In basketball contest, please arrive home safely, and don't forget for everything in UMass basketball.
Good team win.
We're in the weight room at 3.
Yes, in the weight room at 3. Alright, here we go. Bring it in. Good. We go together on three. 1, 2, 3, together!
With a 19-point win, UMass Boston improved to 14-9 overall against the Rams and finished off their non-conference schedule with an 8-3 record. The Beacons look to finish off their regular season strong as they aim to host their second home playoff game in program history. For Behind the Beacon, I'm Haley Dutton.
Welcome back into the broadcast booth. I am John Skudras. Matt Meisenbacher will be back with you shortly. The Beacons trailing 2-1 after 40 minutes of play in this Senior Day 2015, the final game of the 2014-15 campaign. Beacons got off to a good start on a goal by Peter McIntyre, assisted by John Houston, the 9th of the season by Peter and his 46th of his prolific career. That came 8:21 into the first period, and the Beacons had an early 1-0 lead. However, since then, it has been Norwich taking advantage of some very, very close, and some of which have been ticky-tack calls against the UMass Boston Beacons. In the first period, with 14:02 into that period, Tyler Piacentini scored his 8th of the season. That evened it up. And then at 14:55 of the second period, after a very controversial high-sticking call on Peter McIntyre in the attacking zone, it was the first goal of the season for Bryce Courier, his first of the season and the team's second of the game. And it gave the visiting Norwich Cadets a 2-1 lead after 40 minutes of play. In the second period, the Beacons were outshot 15-10. And of course, you saw the power play goal by Courier. Meanwhile, the Beacons did a much better job on face-offs, able to manage 25 face-off wins over the course of this game as they have taken the advantage over Norwich after getting out one on those face-offs 14-5 in the first period. So the Beacons winning 20 face-offs in the second after winning just 5 in the first. Beacons will look to continue that strong play on the dot. If they have any hopes of coming away with a victory in this one, they'll need Billy Faust to continue playing well, as he has made 22 saves on 24 shots. Meanwhile, Ty Reichenbach, who comes in at 11-0-1 on the season, has made 15 saves on 16 shots. So the Beacons trailing 2-1, looking to avoid becoming the 18th victim of the Norwich Cadets in the ECAC East. Norwich, number 1 in the land, is 17-0 in conference play this season. When we come back, we'll take a look around Beaconville and get you set for the final period of the 2014-15 regular season campaign, barring overtime, of course. Again, I am John Skudras. Let's go to a break right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
I'm Alexa Capion. I'm from Messina, New York. I'm a junior on the women's ice hockey team, and I'm an exercise health science major. But when I got here, I met Coach Harris, and I saw the facility, and I met a couple of the girls on the team, and I pretty much got a feel of the program, and I knew right away that this is where I wanted to go to school. We have all league games for the rest of the year, so that's going to be a huge test for us. We need those points to hopefully come out with a good standing for playoffs. A couple of highlights from the last couple of years that I've been playing was probably last year when we won our first Codfish Bowl. We made history that year. I was really excited to be part of that. I don't have very many goals, but when I do score, it's definitely a big deal.
That's a goal.
For the past 3 years, we've had Emily. She is a member of the Team Impact program, and that's for children with illnesses that want to be part of a collegiate program. She's great. She comes and watches all of our games. She has her own jersey. She has her own stick. We've got her all this equipment. It's really awesome to have. She gives us a lot of motivation, and she comes in the locker room and talks to us before games, and it's really cool to have her here and be part of our team. When I graduate, I definitely want to go to graduate school, most likely for either athletic training or physical therapy. Our trainers here have definitely given me an insight about what it takes to be an athletic trainer. They're always on top of everything. They always know how to help us and what to do and what not to do. They're always there for us when we need them, and that's given me a lot of help with what I could be doing after I graduate, so that's nice to have them.
Well, if there's one period left to go, the Beacons would like to end it in a strong way, much like they did yesterday's game, a 6-5 victory against St. Michael's College. Let's take a look at the highlights of that win right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. So the UMass Boston Beacons came back by down a goal in the third period yesterday to win a game. They'll have to make it twice in one day, more or less, as they trail 2-1. Coming into this one, I'm John Skudras. Matt Meisenbacher's to my right. 30 seconds from the third period face-off, and Peter Belisle's club knows they are 20 minutes away from the postseason tournament. They're locked into the second seed, but still, they want to win this game so badly. Shut down Norwich's undefeated record, but also give themselves some great momentum heading into that tourney.
No, yeah, you said it. I mean, that's literally what we're looking at here, and I think we've seen a great hockey game. I mean, especially the atmosphere in the rink. Things are a little tense. We've mentioned the fans are going back and forth, and obviously the players have just been really on top of the game on both sides all game. We've seen some huge hits, some great shots on goal. The passing has been crisp. And I think for this third period, we're really in for one. The one thing I would say, though, is if you're the Beacons, you really want to be able to tie this thing up. If you go down 3-1, you're really battling for an uphill climb trying to get back into this game. So this next goal is very crucial.
Next goal will be likely the determiner, barring a flurry of goals in the third period. We've had a lot of physical nature on the ice. We're seeing some physical nature off the ice in front of us in the crowd. A lot of Norwich Cadet fans traveled down to Boston for this game, and they're getting into it with their team leading 2-1, looking to complete the first undefeated season since 1999-2000 in the ECAC East for Norwich. Meanwhile, Kuhn has control. He'll look for some assistance off the faceoff that was won by the visiting Cadets, but now Milam has control. Beacons were off sides there, and they will be blown dead as the faceoff will come towards neutral ice with 19:40 to go.
Yeah, that's a good call. Definitely offsides there. The puck was bouncing a little bit and jumped up as the Beacons were crossing the blue line, but you see here, Coach Belisle going with that Larkin, Milam, and Kuhn line, a line that's been pretty productive today.
Face-off is won by Peltier. He's out there with Salvucci and Niezgoda as Salvucci's unable to settle that one down, but neither was Nathan Milam, and now it is Peltier trying to dump this one in. It hits the back of Data, and now it's centering pass from Salvucci is deflected away by the stick of Faust as Salvucci was creeping down. Now the Beacons just siphon this one in. That's off the stick of Kuhn, knocked away by Reichenbach, and now coming back the other way again are the Cadets in the form of William Peltier. His shot deflected with the stick by Faust. Salvucci jockeying for possession with Houston, and the Beacons are able to get control. It's Matt Lemire fresh off the bench. His first shift of the third period. Lemire dumps it in, gets tripped up as the Beacons will go for a line change, allowing Peltier to get control.
Yeah, Lemire a little bit slow getting up there. He was trying to make a hit on Smith, and I think took the brunt of it, and just a little bit slow getting up after that.
This one dumped in by Smith, and he'll go for a defensive zone line change. Meanwhile, it's Lemire fighting for possession and poking this one towards the red line before it's sent all the way back behind Faust Grease, where the netminder will settle it down. 2-1 Norwich as they lead with 18.5 to go. Dumped all the way in here by number 25, Steven Bucco, as Brandrup will get controlled. Bearing down on him was McIntyre, but he finds his defensive line mate Roland, and eventually it's dumped all the way in, where the Beacons will see Boyd send it back from whence it came. Brandrup with control, defers to his defensive line mate Roland. Roland trying to find some help, deflected backhand by Bishop out of the defensive zone, and an opportunity for Bucco with McIntyre. Bucco will take this himself, he will! Oh, and a great save with the pass, rebound, and they do not score! Oh, Bishop's shot is robbed, they score! Tyler Bishop! On the second chance opportunity, number 21 in white has delivered his third of the season, his seventh of his career. It's 2-2, Beacons and the Cadets.
Unbelievable. I had no idea how two of those shots didn't go in. First you have Bucco, the leading scorer in all ECAC, all alone in front. Reichenbach makes a great save on him, then a rebound to Bishop. He had the entire net. I have no idea how that didn't go in, but a credit to Tyler Bishop to continue the play. He kept jamming it home, and we're getting a conference here at center ice. I don't know what for, but a credit to Tyler Bishop to continue with the play and finally jams it home to tie this hockey game at 2-2, and I'm not sure what's going on here. There's definitely a conference at center ice.
Well, that's the captain, Cornell, discussing things with the referee crew. It's also the captain, Nevin Lawler, for the Cadets, as...
And John, I think they're just asking for an explanation why there wasn't a whistle, because that puck did look like it was covered momentarily, but I think what the ref is saying is it was actually loose. He had a great angle on it. He was behind the net, so he knew exactly where that puck was, and I think he's just explaining that puck was loose, and obviously a huge goal for the Beacons, 2-2 here, and watch the momentum swing now. We'll see if they can continue with that.
Nevin Lawler takes the face-off, all 5'4" of the Fitchburg native, taking on Frankie DeAugustine, who stands 5'10". DeAugustine out there with Finger and Sitterly. DeAugustine won the face-off initially, but a good play made there by Russell to swap this one in behind Faust's crease. Billy settles it down, looking for Sitterly, couldn't get it. To the point, blocked down, good play by Frankie DeAugustine, and now the Beacons have numbers now, perhaps, but a good play made there by Theta to keep that one out of harm's way.
And you hear the Beacons crowd totally activated now, everyone's cheering.
Lawler with it towards the near side. Nevin tries to spin around Cornell, took an elbow to the face, but that had more to do with the fact that Cornell is about 7 inches taller than Lawler, as this one on a cross-ice feed intended for Sitterly is off the mark, and an icing will ensue. 17-13 to go, a whole new ball game as the goal scored there by Tyler Bishop has evened this one up at 2 right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
And what a fantastic hockey game so far. I mean, totally back and forth, and really just an exhilarating just to be here and feel the atmosphere of the rink. I remember what it was like as a player, and it's quite similar here in the broadcast booth with you, John.
I have a feeling some nostalgia's creeping up as Hall's shot is deflected and blocked down in front by Maciag. And now Mike deferred this one to Sitterly with DeAugustine. They're onside, 2-on-2 in front, knocked down and a save made, but a penalty coming up as tumbling down like a tree in the forest was Kit Sitterly.
Absolutely. And the first time today, and I know I'm going to come off a little bit as a homer, but there's no doubt there. I mean, that was a great play first off by DeAugustine to kind of sauce that puck on net, which really what he's looking to do is have Sitterly drive the net and kind of jam one home. It's a shot on goal, but it's not the true essence of a shot, and what it did was Sitterly, with all his speed going towards the net, he got hauled down in there, and finally the first power play for the Beacons here.
And it's sophomore from Hudson, Massachusetts, Cody Smith, going to the sin bin. He's one of their top 4 defensemen, so this assists the Beacons. Milam in front, shot deflected by Kuhn, save. Rebound, not getting anything on that was Bucco. Beacons looking to take their first lead since the first period, but shattering his stick on the shot was McIntyre from the near side circle, and now Brantrup will clear.
And that's tough as a shooter. McIntyre obviously sitting there for that one-timer and just too much flex on the stick, goes right through it.
Bishop to Bucco, tried to defer there for Milam, but it's intercepted and dumped down, and catching that one like he's playing catch with his father is Billy Faust, as the crowd here for Norwich and UMass Boston getting into it as the Beacons get control. They were offsides. That was Nathan Milam as Bucco had to settle down because of an aggressive forecheck off the stick of Bryce Courier.
That whistle's not bad because it'll get a chance for them to change the first power play unit, send the second power play unit out there. You see Lemire with Larkin and DeAugustine, and they've been good today. All 3 of these players have been active around the puck.
Absolutely. It'll be Mason along with Cornell on the blue line, and now Mason has control. Brett with it. Goes D to D, back from whence it came from Cornell. Finds Colin Larkin, who was in trouble there at the red line, and with no momentum, allowed Mason to dump it towards the blue line. Instead, it's sent all the way back down towards Faust. We're halfway through the 2-minute hooking minor with 15:50 to go in the third period. Opportunities arising for UMass Boston as Colin Larkin dumps and chases. He'll get there himself. Colin Larkin with Lemire. Instead, it trickles back towards the point. Cornell D to D for Mason. Brett Mason back for Dan Cornell. The senior from Abington shot is gobbled up by Reichenbach. And a face-off with 41 seconds to go as a more physical nature after the play is dead.
Yeah, and after that shot, you saw Cornell was communicating with Larkin. I think he was looking for Larkin to kind of get more in front of Reichenbach there because it was just a clean wrister. Reichenbach had a clean shot at it, and he's not going to let that puck in, especially this late in the game. And I think Cornell was just communicating to Larkin to get more in front of the net, take his eyes away.
Face-off is lost by Milam. It's won there on a smart play by Peachhead. Instead, it comes right out in front, and an opportunity for the Beacons on the power play by Mike Kuhn. Here's Bishop, who scored the game tying goal moments ago. D to D for Bucco, back to Bishop. He has to try to get this one back to Steven, and he does. Steven from the far side wall near the circle. They'll switch positions as Bucco loves to go into the slot and look for a deflection in front. Instead, it's Peter McIntyre from his customary near side circle spot on the power play. He gets it there as he's D'd up and will instead come to the point. McIntyre looking for an angle. Instead, he can't smack Bishop, barely keeping it away from the aggressive defender. Centered in front, and Milam's chance to take the lead, and then the net comes off its moorings as the power play expires.
Well, that was the one right there. That's what they were trying to set up. They were playing a little bit of keep away and letting Norwich likes to sit back on the penalty kill. They'll let you have the perimeter, and they're very, very good at blocking shots. But that was the play they were trying to set up, is go low to McIntyre and feed one just across the crease. They had Milam backdoor. They just weren't able to connect clean. And unfortunately for the Beacons, that's the end of the power play. They send the yellow line out here to try to sustain some of that momentum.
I like the move by Belial as he gets his energy line out there after the power play is deadened to try to keep the momentum going. And on a quick turnaround blast from the far side circle, that one gobbled up on the shot there by Nick Pichet. Excuse me, that looks like Pichentini. They have so many similars. It's tough to see the numbers on the digital camo uniforms, which I appear to be the only person in the arena that's not a fan of theirs that likes. Or at least before I started broadcasting them, I liked them. Now an opportunity for Stewart in front, and a great save by Faust as he got his legs down into the butterfly to gobble that one up between the legs and the pads with 14:34 to go.
And that right there is just subtly a really great save by Faust. That's all angles right there. When you got a player coming off the wall, you really have to, that's geometry at its finest there, John. I know you studied, you're a geometry whiz, but there's so much of that involved in goaltending, and that was a great save by Faust.
Yeah, the C- I got in 8th grade geometry lends itself to that suggestion. Meanwhile, the Beacons, who won the faceoff, dumped it all the way down. And the Beacons will chalky for possession on the far side wall. That looks to be Albie Daly. It was. McStravick tried to get there in time but couldn't. Pinching in his Maciag, giving Charbonneau a nice push into the boards. That'll allow the puck to come all the way down for Daly. No icing, as Albie was the only one anywhere near that puck. He defers to Cornell and will move forward. And McStravick didn't have a good angle to get control, but the Beacons, I don't know how that's offsides if it's deflected by the visitors, but regardless it is. 14 minutes to go in the third period, 2-2.
Yeah, and you see the Beacons now with a lot of times, even if you don't score on a power play, you get that momentum, you get that extra energy boost afterwards, and we're seeing some of that still remain here with a great shift. We mentioned the yellow line, a great play by Blyal throwing the energy back out there, and now he follows it up with the Augustine Finger and Sitterly, who have played great today. They've had a lot of energy, especially Kit Sitterly. He's been flying today, a kid who's really known for his speed and has a great shot as well. He's looked great today, and a good chance for them to keep this momentum going in the Beacons' favor.
UMass Boston has gotten the momentum on the goal from Tyler Bishop. That evens this one up in the third period. Sam Boyd jockeying down there, but Flaherty gets it centered in front. Thankfully for the Beacons, Bishop was the only one home. And this one did come out of play before Jeremy Finger could get there, so the Beacons will come back to get it. A delayed offsides, they have touched up. And the Cadets can now play aggressively on the forecheck, but instead it's the Beacons, it's Sitterly, whose cross-ice feed is knocked down by Russell. Not a good idea by Sitterly.
Yeah, can't go cross-ice there.
No, not at all, as Boyd is able to get there and get it to Finger momentarily, and now here is Bishop to Kit Sitterly, who eventually gets it poked away, but Tyler Bishop, who's had a tremendous season and game, is able to dump it down. Kit Sitterly from his knees is able to get it to Larkin. Good play there, to Finger, who dumps it all the way in. Jeremy Finger will go for a line change along with Kit Sitterly and company, and we'll have Bucco line out here now in the third. Good play by Lemire to knock that one down in the defensive zone. Comes to neutral ice where Lemire overskates it and allows a chance for the visitors. Opportunity and a great play by the senior, John Houston, on a shot by Dean Niazgoda to knock that one out of play.
And that is a key play of what Houston's been doing for 4 years here as a Beacon. He's coming across, and what does he do? Takes the stick away. He knows he's got to get in on those hands in order to not let the Norwich player get a good shot on goal. It's something he's been doing, like I said, for 4 years. Just a great defensive player. And a nice job by John Houston not allow a shot on goal there.
12:53 to go. Third period of a 2-2 game. Beacons win the faceoff as Bucco will dump this one down. McIntyre the only one on the Norwich side of the ice as this one comes back behind the net. As tumbling down was Brandtrup, tripped up a little bit by McIntyre, no call. Bucco's there in the far side corner. Steven looking for some assistance. Instead he takes it himself through the defense, and McIntyre got that puck at his stick and couldn't get a backhander home.
It's amazing what Bucco was able to create there. 3 guys on him, was able to make a play.
Faust settles it down, and the only help on the far side will be McIntyre. Good look cross ice, no one was home. That includes either Cadets or Beacons before Lemire takes a hit there from Brandtrup. And luckily for UMass Boston, the Beacons are able to settle it down at neutral ice before Kuhn can move in. Kuhn's blast, and that one was a knuckler that gave the netminder fits, but Reichenbach snatched it like ripened fruit. And with 12:07 to go, 2-2, Beacons and the Cadets.
Yeah, crafty little play there. Houston to Kuhn. Houston was able to corral it and send a nice little sauce pass to Kuhn, who just rips one glove side. A nice glove save by Reichenbach.
Face-off in the attacking zone is won by the Beacons' Colin Larkin, and Milam's shot is blocked from the far side. A blast from Maciag, high and wide. Dan Cornell looking for some more as he dumps this one back behind the net for Kuhn. Kuhn looking perhaps for a wraparound opportunity, center for Milam. Instead, he gets tripped up and loses control. Salvucci will be able to get this one out for Boyce, who will dump it all the way in. Salvucci in front, they score! 5-hole on Billy Faust. It's 3-2 Cadets on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Yeah, you saw that coming. Norwich had a lot of speed coming out of the zone. It was a broken 3-on-2. And just a nice play. Salvucci was able to go a little backhand. I think it was it Peltier who was able to just wrist one. He caught it and just let it go. And that's what a quick release can do. It's deadly on any goaltender. Anytime a player is able to just catch it and let it go like that, you don't give the goaltender a chance to set up. And a great shot by Norwich to make this a 3-2 hockey game, but still 11:43 left in the third period. Plenty of hockey here, and again, another test for the Beacons. Can they come back and tie this hockey game?
Kevin Salvucci, the freshman from Plymouth, with his 4th goal of the season, 12th point. It's 3-2 Cadets on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Tyler Bishop has it, defers to Boyd behind the net as the Beacons find themselves trailing by a goal yet again. Here's Miller, who dumps this one in as it hit off the ref's back and went into the bench, as the visitors will get a break there.
I gave credit to Peltier. It was actually Salvucci who scored on that. But you see here, I mean, the one thing the Beacons cannot do is let themselves get down. They've really had some good momentum for much of this third period, and unfortunately, they give up a goal there. But like I said, still plenty of hockey. 11 minutes left in the third. And like I said, playing well. They need to continue.
Courier looking for some assistance. There's the goal scorer, Salvucci, who takes a mortar shot of a lob feed forward. Peltier centered in front, no one home besides Peter McIntyre, and with 11 minutes to go, Peter was able to settle that one down, and John Houston moves forward. Houston turns it over, however, and Beacons will have to back check pretty severely here after they were moving forward into the offensive zone. Peltier behind the net, intercepted by Bucco. You'd love to see these offensive lines get into the attacking zone, and Lemire had a chance there but couldn't settle it down. That'll be offsides on Peter McIntyre and the Beacons with 10:36 to go, as Lemire was still in the attacking zone.
Yeah, if Lemire could have bumped that just a little bit, he would have been in all by himself. We've seen that a few times today. Beacons players who have done well attacking the Norwich D just haven't been able to bump it far enough to get it past them and send themselves in.
So it'll be the DeAugustine line, centering Sitterly and Finger as Maciag gets it from Cornell. D-to-D backhand feed back for Dan, and Dan will go off the end boards back for Maciag. He'll feed it off the far side board for Sitterly. DeAugustine then gets it from Kit and dumps it all the way in. Finger chasing after it, looking to feed DeAugustine. Bounced over his stick, and eventually it'll be taken by Lawler, who will dump it behind for Brandtrup, and he'll backhand it D-to-D there for Brian Rowland, who clears all the way down. This should be and will be icing as the Beacons get down there, both Maciag and Cornell, with 10:03 to go.
We'll see who Blyle puts out there here. It looks like it's going to be the yellow line. It's been his go-to line in situations like this when you have a craft. I think it's just based on the fact that they match up well against any line against Norwich. And you see here Daly with another opportunity. This draw he wins.
And a quick shot off of the face-off win by Daly is gobbled up by the netminder Ty Reichenbach, who continues to show why he's 11-0-1 with a 1.27 GAA this year.
Yeah, Miller let that go in a hurry, and a good save by Reichenbach.
He's from Billings, Montana. Not a lot of Montana residents in the hockey, especially at the collegiate level. I mean, you don't see really any Montana residents and natives in the NHL, that's for sure.
Absolutely. First one I've heard of or played against.
First, maybe not the last if they continue to breathe like this, as the faceoff was won by the visiting Cadets. They move all the way in. Good play by the Beacons to pinch off what was a 2-on-1 as Hale has control. Runaway stick sends into the neutral zone, as that looked like it came from the grasp of Stewart, who got a stick from a teammate. Meanwhile, an opportunity offensively to center this one in front, but Tyler Bishop knocks it down. It's 3-2 Cadets, and a big hit by McStravick as he levels the lumber and then gets shoved from behind. No one's home here for UMass Boston, but luckily the visiting Cadets were going for a face-off.
Don't let his size fool you, fellas. I mean, Connor McStravick is a very strong hockey player, and evidence of it right there.
Absolutely. At just 5'8" he packs a lot of punch And the Beacons will hope for some scoring punch from he and the rest of his teammates in the final 8:55. Knocked down here with the glove by Houston. It's going to be Larkin getting control, deferring for Bishop, who sends it forward for Milam. Milam and Larkin looking to get something going. No one else home there as he dumps it all the way in, chasing after it Kuhn. Milam can't settle it down, nor can Houston. It comes all the way back towards neutral ice for Mason to move forward. Knocked down and moved forward here for UMass Boston's Nathan Milam. He'll look to set it up around the net, loses control. It bounces off the end board, or rather the far side end board, and meanwhile unable to keep it in is Mason. And here they come moving forward. That will be Nevin Lawler, who dumps it all the way in. And now with 8:15 to go, Beacons need to get something going soon, trailing by a goal. Steven Buco's line out there. He's joined by McIntyre and Lemire. As a big hit there at neutral ice by Houston on Peltier, and the Beacons continuing to play a sound physical game.
And it's good to see. They're going to need more of it. Continue to do what you've been successful all day doing.
Lemire tried the spinorama feed and dumped deep in. He was unsuccessful. Pelletier has it 3-on-3. His shot off the arm of the netminder Faust and off the end boards. Meanwhile, it comes back to William Pelletier. His shot deflected by Salvucci, but came wide of the net where Niezgoda can blast it in. Second chance from Pelletier is blocked down by Houston, and he'll have no other choice but to dump it all the way down. No icing.
A great block by Houston. And that's, they're going to call icing. It might have just gone over the goal line. It looked like it was going to be close. That's going to come all the way back down, which is unfortunate because on that block shot, Houston definitely got it. It might have been the forearm and the ribs, and he was looking to make a change. Big draw here, and Blyle's thinking about possibly taking his timeout. Doesn't look like he's actually going to do it, however.
7.5 minutes to go. That was a very, very slow bouncing puck for it to be icing. I have a feeling the defender could have gotten there if he wanted to. Regardless, the refs call it. Now Cornell will have to get it done. He feeds it across the far end boards, and McIntyre can't settle it down as it comes to neutral ice play. Flaherty tries to feed it in front for Russell. He does. Russell around the net, knocked down by the referee, but it's set up perfectly for Lawler, who finds Russell. Spin-proud pass, and it was deflected by Houston right into the waffle board of number 30, Billy Faust.
Faust was on top of his game there. His own player tipped it in on him, and he was able to make a blocker save.
You talk about friendly fire.
No, absolutely, and finally UMass gets to make a change.
Beacons need something offensively. Since that goal by Salvucci, it has been all cadets all the time, and Nevin Lawler and Piaccinini looking for more as his shot is blocked down, and now here comes Finger. It's 1-on-3 as coming down now is Sitterly to help out, and actually Kit will get there first. Feeds DeAugustine, who couldn't settle it down, and now Piaccinini is able to get this one towards the blue line and out of play.
Going to be a whistle here. I'm not sure whether it's going to be a hand pass. I think it might be. It's going to come down. It's going to be a face-off just outside the Norwich zone here. Blyle throwing the yellow line back out there. I think they're discussing whether or not it's going to be in zone, and it looks like it is going to be in zone, which is a huge break for UMass, which means an intentional hand pass, which is going to create this in-zone face-off.
It looks to be right now the case as Connor McStravick, along with Mike Miller and Albie Daly, Mike Masiag and Dan Cornell will be out here for this. Beacons are in the attacking zone for this face-off. Trailing right now, 3-2. Niezgoda takes the face-off against McStravick. It's won by Connor, and then hooked and dumped down was Miller, no call. McStravick lays the hit into the boards, and it's dumped behind the net of Reichenbach, but with no Beacon there, this will be an easy clear for the Cadets. Now here is Stewart with control. Stewart looking for some assistance. He's got Pichette and Piaccinini. Meanwhile, Stewart will settle it down. Piacentini has it. And now the Beacons get control and are able to clear. Cornell finds Masiag, who is able to find McStravick over the blue line, but the Beacons can not get a shot away. They do keep it in. McStravick looking for Miller, finds him. Mike Miller to the near side corner.